Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. I'm Gavin. With me, I have got Emmet and I have got Keith. And what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about the news today. Confirmed. We've known about it a long, long time. But it was confirmed officially today that Trent Alexander Arnold will leave Liverpool at the end of the season, or at the end of his contract, is the word that has been put on it. Which I think is interesting in itself. Keith, I'm going to come to you first. Look, we've known about this a while. It all kicked off probably 5 or 6 weeks ago when various outlets were reporting that Real Madrid are working on the deal for Trent to go to them next season. But it was made official today, the day after we play Chelsea, 6 days before we play Arsenal. And I don't know we've all given our opinion on this, but it's official now. Where are you on it? Because I think there's so many levels to this, but go on, where are you on
it? Yeah, look, it's the worst kept secret in football that he was going. I think everybody knew it was going to come to this, and in the sense of announcing it today, it's probably as expected, just sort of sneaking in before the end of the season. Look, it's one of them. We've been quite critical of Trent at times on the show. I know Shawnee sort of flagged it from way back when we bet Bournemouth 9-0 and Trent has a celebration and sort of seeing a side of him that we probably hadn't seen up till then, a little bit of arrogance in him and things like that. And I think we've sort of, well, not we, I'm not speaking for anyone else, but I've certainly been of the opinion that I don't know if there was he seemed to change around then. And we all fell for the old Jude Bellingham is coming to Liverpool to play with Trent. It turned out it was nothing of the sort. I think Trent going, look, I'm not going to say he hasn't been a great player for Liverpool. He has been a great player for Liverpool. The news coming the way it did was always going to sting, even though we expected it was always going to sting, because you never want one of your top players to be leaving, and you certainly don't want them to leave on a free. But all things, you move on. Liverpool aren't really going to suffer because of this. I think Trent will suffer to an extent, reputationally in Liverpool, not anywhere else, because the rest of England are all of a sudden all on board with Trent being great, and you know how.
it? Yeah, but that's
Um,
that's the level of fucking idiot you're dealing with.
oh, we've seen witch hunts about the fella over the years when he was going to England and all that, and now all of a sudden there's been a turning in the narrative around Trent, to soften the blow because he won't be playing for Liverpool anymore. I think Trent will suffer, as I say, in Liverpool, around the city, any family that he has there, and when he speaks in his little video about going back as a supporter, I don't know how that one will go down, because I just think anyone is entitled in the world of sports with contracts. Really, you can do what you want. Do you know what I mean? To an extent, Trent decided long ago, like, this is not a recent decision. Decided long ago that this was the path he was going to take. Real Madrid have decided that this was a path that they are going to take, and we've seen that with Kylian Mbappe, the exact same thing. Player, they want to get a superstar in, but they're not willing to pay superstar transfer fees on top of superstar wages. And Real Madrid have now seemingly adopted this policy that they will just be on to every player they want and telling them to run down their contract. Do I know this for a fact? Obviously not. But reading between the lines and reading the stuff that, we've all seen online, you can sort of take it that this is what's happened. Trent has been an excellent player for Liverpool. He's had some great moments for Liverpool. But I just feel, and as I said, he's entitled to run down his contract and move to wherever he wants. It's a contract. That's what it's there. It's a set contract. It's not a lifetime contract that he signed. It's not Chelsea, giving out 12 and 13-year deals. He signed his deal and he's moving on. And, you take off your Liverpool glasses and you could say, oh, well, that's it, fair play to him. But we have Liverpool glasses on. And the whole point of being fans is you're emotionally invested and you're emotionally tied to the club and to these players. And when one of them walks out at 26, you know, I want a new challenge. You don't want a new. The challenge is Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? The challenge for me, if I was a local lad, would be stay at Liverpool, hoover up more titles, build a dynasty at Liverpool. Because we all had to listen to one title, a COVID title, one title in 30 years, and they're trying the two titles in 35 years or whatever shite that is. But we're also getting the oh yeah, but it's never been sustained. They've never had sustained dominance and winning multiple titles. So for me, the challenge for Trent would have been right. This next stage of my career, 26 to 29, let's say, is let's see can we build on Liverpool. Let's see can I cement the status, his legacy and status at Liverpool. Can he build on that and go forward? And he decided not to. He decided to go to Real Madrid. He wants to be out in the sun. Fair play to him. He wants to be with his mate, Jude Bellingham. Fair play to him. He's not going for free, you know what I mean? He's getting well paid. He's getting well looked after. But ultimately, he's gone. And as soon as he plays his last game now for Liverpool, you know, he's done as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to see him, for the rest of the season. Not in a petty way, just in a like he's not part of the future now. We knew that he wasn't part of the future, but now it's definitive that he's not part of the future. So I just think, he's made his choice. Fair play to him, let him do that. I would just say that for me, I'd rather maybe have a legacy at Liverpool than half a career at Liverpool and then fucking off to Real Madrid. But look, see, it all depends how it works out for him in the end. But it just leaves a bad taste for me. But look, ultimately, we'll get better. You know what I mean? Liverpool won't get worse. Liverpool will get better. I'm not saying immediately better, but they will get better, and we'll all move on.
Emmet, we get onto the footballing side in a bit, and dreams and whatever else, right? But when I've spoken to you in particular about it, I think you've been of the same opinion as me. Putting the football and thing aside and the money aside and whatever it might be, it's how you navigate an exit out of a football club for me, especially a club like Liverpool, and people will say, no, it's not how it works. Trust me, they were booing him at Leicester, right? And the word is that there was people still after the final whistle at Leicester waiting for him to come over so they could have another go off him, even though he'd scored that day. So it's how you navigate a way out of a football club. And people in the chat there have mentioned, Harry Kane and others that sign a deal and say, right, if a club really wants me, and I will go, but I'm going to sign an extension, so I'll do my best for Liverpool Football Club, even in this exit. He hasn't done this, right? If you're to believe that the rumours going around, this has been in the pipeline for quite a while, and you'd have to believe it because Real Madrid have form for this. They basically say to you, if you want to play for us, you run down that deal. If you sign another deal, we're not coming back for you. And I've got views on the footballing side of it, but the biggest thing for me, Emma, is does he give a bollocks about his legacy at Liverpool, or does he not? And I think he doesn't, because he knows what's coming. He knows what the reaction he's going to get now and in the near future and in probably in the distant future when he's a Real Madrid player, if he comes back to play or if he finishes his career and comes back to Liverpool. To me, how he's navigated this exit looks all wrong. And that's not because he's like just Hannah says, it's in the chat said it's extremely unfair because he's a scouser to expect him to stay forever and ever. It's nothing to do with the fact that he's from Liverpool, by the way, for me. Nothing. But it just doesn't look right, Emma. It really
No,
doesn't. I think it's been really poor from his side with regards to the exit. And sorry, just before you come in, I'm not asking for him to make a massive statement in in January. Maybe I would have liked him to, but it's probably unrealistic. But he could have easily turned around and went, listen, if Real Madrid really want me, I'm going to sign this deal. And I'm going to say to Liverpool, I want to go to Real Madrid. If they really want me, put me up for sale, and if they pay the price, they go. But he's done a deal here for me where it's for him, it's for Real Madrid, and it's no benefit whatsoever to Liverpool.
Yeah. Look, I don't go all well. Sometimes I do go in for he owes the club nothing. I completely disagree. And this whole he's at the club 20 years. He wasn't winning Premier Leagues or League Cups when he was 6. So he's had a good what 8 years at the club. I think he
Yeah.
owes, and for me it is, and I know Keith has touched on it before. To me, the fact that he's from Liverpool does play a part in it for me. This is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, maybe bar Ian Rush back in '87 or wherever it was that he left, where somebody has actually left Liverpool when we're probably at the height of our powers. So you had the likes of a Suarez left, you had the likes of a Owen left, McManaman. It was like they all had to leave to try and progress or try and win more stuff or win trophies. Somebody mentioned Harry Kane. Harry Kane was never going to win anything at Spurs, and he's struggled to win it at Bayern Munich. It took him a season and 2 seasons. It's the first time that we've probably ever witnessed somebody where we're at the height of our powers, and you're like, why would you want to leave? The fact that you're a scouser, why would you want to leave? And I've said it, and I might be wrong, and it's my opinion, and that's what we do on this show. So I said it the last time. I think we're in as good, if not slightly better position to go and win the Champions League than Real Madrid at this moment in time. I know they've won it 15 times, but in the condition that they're in at the moment, and they're gone back to that kind of Galactico individual. Mbappe scored 30 goals for them this season, and he got booed off the pitch last week,
Yeah.
right? They're already going at Trent. He hasn't even agreed. Hasn't even said that he's going to them. He says we need. What did I say earlier on? We needed a defender, so we signed the player that left Vinny Junior unmarked in the 2022 final. They're already having a go on him. He hasn't even touched down in Spain. For me, it's the leaving. Like he says that he wanted it. It's Liverpool is his dream, right? It's my dream to play for Liverpool. I'm never gonna fucking play for Liverpool. He gets a chance to play for
Don't give up.
Liverpool. He grew up in
You
West
never
Derby.
know.
He stood on bins looking over at the team playing. He got his chance to do it. He says that he wanted to captain Liverpool. He hasn't done it. I'm not taking one game at a time into account. You need to be club captain to be captain of Liverpool. He's won all the tries. He's won everything that he can at Liverpool. Then go and fucking win it again. Go and win it as captain. Now, don't get me wrong, an absolutely fantastic footballer who's given us all some very, very good moments in football. However, that doesn't get you a free pass. Uh, if Real Madrid want you that much, they'll pay for you. This whole, oh, you have to run down your contract. Whether that happened or not, I think they probably would have paid for him. But what he seems to have done is he's orchestrated this where he runs down his contract and he gets the big signing on fee. That's for me. He sold his legacy for a few million, right? I won't ever forget what he's done for Liverpool. It's been great. However, that doesn't give you a free pass to do what I think that he has done. And he has shown more loyalty to Real Madrid. Now, bear in mind what Real Madrid, like we probably weren't when Owen and McManaman were gone, we probably weren't rivals then, but we've played each other nearly fucking every season for the last 5, 6 seasons. They are a rival to Liverpool. Look at the shambles that went on last week after the Copa del Rey. Like, why would you want to go from what you saw last Sunday at Anfield to what you saw? Was it last Sunday as well for the Copa del Rey? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Throwing bags
Yeah.
of fucking ice 30 yards onto a pitch. Like it's an absolute shit show over there. So look, this whole I don't think there's one scouser has ever woken up and thought to themselves, I'd love to win the La Liga with Real Madrid. Because like the point I was making there, we have as much of a chance of winning the Champions League. I read something earlier on, somebody said they'd rather win a corner with Liverpool than win a Champions League with Real Madrid. They're obviously a Liverpool born and bred. To me, it doesn't wash with me. As for the fucking video, I'm sorry, coursing and everything here.
Oh,
If
you can
you
course, buddy.
cannot, if
Listen,
if
come
you
here.
if you
You're about 45 years of age, and it's 10 past 10 on a Monday night. You can do what you like.
come
Yeah.
here, at least I'm stringing a sentence together this week.
Yeah.
But cannot, if he cannot sit down in front of a camera and say from his heart
Yeah.
what he said in the first 2 lines of that video, he's reading off a fucking art. It's not even
Yeah.
like
I
it's
thought it was
just
deplorable.
it was so fucking contrived. It's unbelievable. I love him. I would have loved him to stay. But what he's done now is, like I said, he sold his legacy. He sold his legendary status at the club for a few million quid. Now, let's face it, he wasn't on butter vouchers at Liverpool. If you were led to believe he was over 325,000, I read something about an hour ago where he's only going to be on 150 I think. It's not a football. It's not a new challenge. Going and playing in Spain is not a challenge. It's a challenge every time you play Atletico and Barca, probably. The challenge is in Liverpool. The challenge is trying to win the Champions League with Liverpool. The challenge is trying to win the Premier League with Liverpool. Like I said, like that's the one thing that he can go over there. Nobody, like, again, I've never once thought in my life I'd love to win La Liga or I'd love to win the Copa del Rey. It's just, I know dreams can change, and some of the videos that are cropped up are old videos of him, and it's unfair to maybe hold him to them. But just for me, it's not, it's a money move for me. It's a financial move, like you just said there is, and the only people that stand to gain from this are Trent and Real Madrid. So this whole 20 years, I've been at the club 20 years. Well, then to me, you owe the club something. I think Suarez signed a 1 year extension, did he, to make sure that we got a fee? I'm really sure somebody said that. Everybody says, oh, Coutinho. Look, don't get me wrong. Bigger, better players have left us in the past, and here we still are winning titles. And Trent will leave us, and we will go on and we win more titles. But other players have left. South American players, it is their dream to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona, right? They're probably not going to go and win a Champions League with the teams that are their boyhood teams, so they have to go to those teams. With Trent, I think he just had the world at his feet at Liverpool. He could have gone on and won everything again, win it again as captain, and solidify yourself as probably push Gerrard as being one of the biggest legends at the club. And he's just gone and thrown all of that away. And people go, oh, he's secured his family's future and his money. Look, he wasn't setting up on fucking the Halfpenny Bridge with a McDonald's cup. Let's face it, He was earning a hell of a lot of dough. He had sponsorship deals, all that kind of stuff. And maybe if you add what Liverpool were offering him per week, if it was 300 or 325, if you add that up over the course of 4 or 5 years and still make him 30, you can still go and win a Copa del Rey at Real Madrid. You can still go and win a La Liga at Real Madrid. To me, it's just, I'm more disappointed. I'll get over it. From a footballing point of view, I can see if it was a footballing decision. To me, it's not a footballing decision. To me, it's a money decision. And look, he's entitled to his opinion, but we're entitled to ours as well. Mm-hmm. So,
in a footballing sense, I don't really have a problem with the footballing side of it. I have my thing is the timing on it, right? At 26, I think if he signs a 4-year deal in 2021, when the other lads were signing for 5 years, whatever it was, right? I think Alisson signed one the following year for 5 years or whatever, and he signs that. I think if he turns around and says 2 years ago, I'm signing another 4-year deal, it'll bring me up to 28 at Liverpool. But just to let you know, if an offer comes in, I would like to go and play in Spain for Barca or Real or even a Bayern Munich, right? If a deal comes in for that amount of money, I would like it to be considered because I do want to go and play abroad, right? So I've no problem with the footballing side of it. Like, look, we all have dreams, what we'd like to do and stuff, and he's fulfilled his dream, right? Let's be fair. He's fulfilled his dream to play for Liverpool Football Club. He's played in finals. He's won every competition he's entered, bar the Europa League, right? I think he's won every one of them, right? And you want a new challenge. Fine. Everyone wants a new challenge. You know, let's be perfectly fair here. Madrid, nicer weather, better standard of living probably. You know, well, not a better standard of living because he can live wherever the fuck he likes anywhere. But what I'm saying is the lifestyle is different.
Sunshine.
Yeah, there's just all that, right? And there's no issue there, right? But I think it's near on impossible for him at 26 to leave this football club at 26 on a free transfer, and for him to think that people aren't going to...
With us in the position that we're in.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You know what I mean? with the position we're in, and he's being part of getting us into that position. Let's be fair. It's not like we've got him in. We've gotten to this position. Went, listen, come on in and do this, and he's like, no, you're all right. He's being part of getting us into that position. But to leave at 26, on a free transfer, I just don't see how in his mind he thinks he can leave that club at 26 on a free transfer for Real Madrid, which has been long fucking kind of pinned as this is what he's up to. And think he's going to walk out of here and everyone's going to go, well, best of luck, bud. Keith, it's just not going to happen.
No, it's not. It's Gav, you're spot on there because 26. Liverpool, when they try to sign players, and look, football's a business. We sign players, we take players from other teams. We're not naive to say it's only terrible if we're losing a player. Liverpool tried to sign players at 23, and they look at getting their sort of 23 to 27, that sort of period up until around the age of 28, where Liverpool see them as their peak. We're losing him in the middle of that sort of range. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're losing. You're dead right, Gav. Like, it's not a big 26 to 28 doesn't sound like much, but it's huge because 28 you've given.
I think 26 is 2 contracts left in your career, and I think 28 is 1.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, see, you're giving at the 28 you've given. If he turned around and done as you said there, I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, look, that's fair enough. You want to try something new, you want to try something, another country, another climate, another style, another leagues and all that sort of stuff. That'd be fine. But yeah, 26 is like, right, I've sort of done me learning here. I'll take me stabilizers off the bike and I'm going off to the big boy club now. And it's a slap in the face for Liverpool fans everywhere. It's
like, it comes across, Keith. It comes across as, and I could be wrong. And if people in the chat want to tell me I'm wrong, by all means do so. But it comes across to me as, it's been a really. He says it's been the hardest decision I've ever had to make. But the way this has played out, it looks like he was determined to make this happen.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he was going along grand and he's. I've 2 years left of my deal. Real Madrid want me. Oh, Jesus Christ, do I go? The money's being offered, and has to make a hard decision. This has been, by the looks of a planned and an absolute determination to go. Do you get me?
Yeah,
and nothing would sway him. So it doesn't come across as a really hard decision when you're driving the decision, Keith.
Yeah, look, it's ultimately it's his decision, it's his choice. Dylan O'Rourke put a comment, I think, in the chat earlier saying like he thinks Trent's probably gutted that we won the league because it's highlighting the decision to move on or whatever. And maybe there is bits and pieces in that because, like I said, I fully believe this decision was made 2 years ago. I believe that Arne Slot came in the summer and not that Trent wanted him to fail. I'm not saying Trent wanted him to fail or anything ridiculous like that, but the unknown meant he felt, look, I have an easy way out here because I can say Klopp is gone. This team's after falling off a cliff. I'd like to move on and try something else. And
then go last summer, because I've had so many people onto me, right, saying to me, Gav, the club should have sold him. It's impossible to sell him. Because if he's driving the narrative here and saying in the summer of 2024, Jurgen Klopp's gone out the door, I want to go to Real Madrid, and Real Madrid are going, you stay where the fuck you are for another year. Yeah. We're not paying any money for you. Well, first of all, I'll be going, well, do these really want me? Do these really value me? Look, what's him to stop turning around to saying to Real Madrid, listen, don't give the 20 million, don't give me the 20 million signing on fee. Give it to Liverpool now. Right? Because they know I'm going to go. So they'll take that money from me now. You know what I mean? And just go last summer. Just say, listen, I've had it. I was with Klopp. This is kind of Klopp's moving on to new things, and it's made me decide that I want to do that as well. But I don't want the club to lose out completely. I have a year left on my deal, and bang, there's the money. If he's getting 20 or 30, whatever it is, I don't know what he's getting off Real Madrid. I would say it's north of 20 million quid, 30 million. I've seen numbers like 70 million. That's being quoted. And I'm not saying 70 again because someone had to head on me about it. But
why did someone need to head off you for that?
Oh, because I said what was reported. and
Yeah, but
they knew better.
nobody knows, so
No,
we might as
nobody
well.
knows. I was just
Your guess is as good as
yeah,
their
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
You know
But
what I mean?
I would say
Apparently, the person in the chat knew better.
if Trent is, let's just say 30 million, right? Because it's an okay number here. If Trent turns around last year and says, "Look, I want to go, but I don't want to have this messing around," Real Madrid are going to offer me 30 million to sign on. I've asked Real Madrid to give the money to the football club, and I'm going to go now. Everyone would have turned around and went, "Do you know what? We're not happy about it, but at least he's shown something here." And it is a hard decision for him, and he's sacrificing this to make it happen. I think people would have went, "Yeah, okay, fair. We're not happy, but fair enough." But this is being driven now for, I would say, over a year, where he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's gone and done it, Keith. And I don't know, like, dreams, this, that, and the other. It makes, I just don't see, I don't see how this, how he comes out of this well. Like Seamus says, they offered 20 million in January though. Did he?
They offered something in January, but we're in the
Real
middle of a title challenge. Do you know what I mean? Like,
This is what I'm saying. You cut it off. Next Level says that utopia thinking, Gav. No, it's not really. It's not really. Like, we're having a go at him mostly because he's leaving on a free transfer. He has driven this narrative. He could have driven in a different direction for the benefit of Real Madrid, who would have spent no more money, and Liverpool Football Club, that he would have been able to walk out. And yeah, he would have had people having a go at him, but he would have been able to go, well, listen, I wasn't going to sign a new deal. I've got a fee for the football club. And, you know, people aren't going to be happy with it either way. But Keith, it's the no fee thing, it's the age thing, and it's clearly a driving of a decision. Like, when he said it's the hardest decision I had to make, I went, yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Nah, look, we'll all come across as bitter exes here that are getting blown out by their misses, and you know, we give out and moan about it. But ultimately, you know, he's leaving on a free. He's, in my opinion, he's sort of pissing on his legacy at the club. He's given two fingers up to the fans that have supported him, that have gone to the wall for him. You know what I mean? That have batted for him. He's the most scrutinised footballer in England, I'd say, over the period of his career. You know, he's the player that's been thrown under more buses by his fucking international manager and others. Do you know what I mean? That he's been absolutely dragged over. And Liverpool fans have always rushed to defend him, always rushed to his defence. He's going out for free now. As you said, he could have done something. There could have been a manipulation done and said, look, to Real Madrid, look, you don't want to pay 100 million. What are we paying? I'll extend with a release clause. Liverpool get their money. You pay a release clause. I want to try something new. Everyone's a winner, in a sense. But it was never going to happen. This thing about the offer mid-season was ridiculous, because what are Liverpool supposed to do in the middle of a title run? And someone pointed out there that Bradley was injured as well at the time when the bid comes in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was ridiculous. That was Real Madrid chancing their arm. They done the exact same thing with Mbappe. They tried to throw a few quid at PSG early as well, and it's just to unsettle things. You know, like, it's their modus operandi in these type of things. Look, Trent is gone. Liverpool, if they'd got money from him, I wouldn't have been as upset about it, because if you take everything back, he's a wonderful player with the ball, right? He's a creative player. He's very, very much a creative fulcrum in our team still, because when he's not playing versus when he does play, we're seeing a lot more creativity from the team when he's on the pitch. Right? That, no denying that. There's no
I don't think there's any argument over him.
About that.
Well, I don't think there can, because, like, you've mentioned something there about, you know, scrutinised, and like Gareth Southgate tapping him on the fucking head a few years ago.
Yeah.
You know, do better and we might give you a ring. You know, every fucking pundit out there, like,
named about 8 fullbacks better than him.
Yeah,
but
Southgate
literally named a shitload of fullbacks.
Yeah, and then taking time out a week every week to go, well, this is the problem, Trent is the problem, and they've absolutely lashed him. And Liverpool fans have supported him. Like, does he get that support when he goes to Madrid?
Absolutely.
Does he go to Madrid and have a stinker? Does he go to Madrid and face Jeremy Doku in a Champions League game, and Jeremy Doku runs all over him without really creating anything, but they won't give a bollocks? Like, where Liverpool fans go, yeah, he went by him a few times, but we dealt with it. You know, where Real Madrid will go, he's being slaughtered. You know, will he get that support where the Real Madrid fan base, if England are having a go off him, Gareth Southgate's having a go off him, Gary Neville's having a go off him, which Gary Neville won't now, but if they're having a go, does the Real Madrid fan base stand up and go, hold on, he's their fucking player, you leave him alone? Like,
Nah, the white hankies are out.
do you know,
Like a
like
light.
this is what I'm
Guaranteed.
saying, you know what I mean?
Like I said to you, they booed Mbappe off the pitch last week. He scored 30 goals for them this season. Like it's like I said it earlier on. Trent has a few bad games. Anfield and the travelling cop will protect him. Will still sing his song. He has one or two stinkers for Real Madrid, and the whole of the Bernabeu is coming down on him like a pile of bricks. Gareth Bale, like everybody goes, oh, Gareth Bale did really well over there. They fucking booed him every fucking chance they got. Yeah, he won a load of things, but he absolutely hated the kid.
But he literally won it for them in loads of things.
Yeah, like
and
it's
they
against
still
us.
got on him.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. They're the most ungrateful fucking fans I've ever come across in my life. Like to be booing him back. I know he probably didn't play the best at the time, but like Jesus Christ, that's what. And I don't want to say that's what. Well, I will say it. That's what's different about Liverpool. We protect our own. We don't turn on it. You see other clubs turning on their players. Even Man United booing players off. Get rid of this. McTominay is probably one of their best players last year. They all wanted him out of the club. He's fucking ripping it up over at Napoli now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like like we would protect Trent. He's not gonna. And again, this is me. You said it there. I'm 46. The chap is 26. I could be his dad, and sometimes I feel a little bit like that. That it's like you want to grab him and shake him and go, don't fucking throw it away. Like, look at people that have gone before you that thought that grass is greener and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Namely the likes of Hazard. Like, do you know what I mean? I know he was injuries and whatever. Hazard, Michael Owen did fuck all over there as well. Like look, it's a cautionary tale. Learn from it. I honestly I don't see it. I know other people see it working out for him over there.
Yeah.
I honestly do not see it working out for him over there. And somebody said earlier on, Villa have already bid X amount for an 18-month loan in a year's time or something like that. Like I honestly don't see it working out for him. And the way he's left now is he makes it very hard for him to come back, I think.
I think it makes it impossible for him to come back.
Oh, yeah. To Liverpool? Oh, no.
But to play for Liverpool. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Jesus.
That's it now. Bridge is burned. And it's more of a disappointment that please don't throw it away. And look,
you see, that's been my anger from because
he'll go upstairs with €500 notes no doubt. But sure, look, if he's okay with that,
yeah, it's
he could do excellent over there. You know
you see, this is the thing.
He could flourish, but I sort of agree with Emmet in a sense.
I think he will. I think he'd be excellent.
I think he will get roasted at times, and I think the white hankies will be out very, very quickly. So I think he needs Real Madrid's players. He needs Jude Bellingham to pull that team together and rally around him.
He needs Real Madrid.
The crowd won't.
Yeah, but
so
he needs the crowd to understand.
I think he's only going to get more arrogant. Look what's happened to Jude Bellingham since he went over there. Now, he was already a little bit arrogant at the likes of Dortmund and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, we started this conversation off mentioning Shawnee about the Bournemouth game. In and around about the time the two lads became friends. And I've seen, like, there was an arrogance about him, but that's just slowly got worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's like Shawnee says, it's all about brand Trent now. Like I read something earlier on where he sees himself going and doing similar to what Beckham has done by going to Real Madrid and building his own image and all that kind of stuff. And look, fair play to him if he does, but that's not a decision. That's a financial decision he's making.
Yeah,
I think
it's a brand decision.
Footballing wise, I think he'd be fine. To be fair, I think he'd be absolutely fine. I think he's an unbelievable footballer. So I think but if you're going in there, whether it won't be Ancelotti, but if it's Alonso or whoever goes in there, I've seen people saying it'll be Klopp. Klopp will be back. He'll be at Real Madrid next year, and Trent is in there. And stranger things have fucking happened,
And I would be surprised.
Well,
but if it is Alonso, let's say if it is Alonso, sorry for coming across.
Go straight at the back.
Alonso goes straight at the back and he goes, wing back. So then Trent is playing as a wing back, I'd imagine, rather than a right side of a back three, right? So let's say he's playing as a wing back, and that could suit him. I think his position is going to be key because let's say, for example, Alonso does go in there but doesn't go. He sticks with a 4-4-2 or whatever, 4-3-3. Sorry, whatever it is that they're playing for at the back, and he's a right back, a traditional right back. Antonio Rudiger's not going to be happy doing all his work for him. Guarantee you that. Like, there's not a fucking hope in hell he's going to be covering for him the way Kanate has had to cover for him for years, having to do the job of two players because Trent is going forward. Now, we might see a different Trent at Madrid where he runs back when losing the ball. We didn't see it at Liverpool. His attitude has been fucking disgraceful at Liverpool when losing the ball. So will that continue at Real Madrid? And my point, that's not really, it is a dig at him, but it's not meant to be sort of a dig at him. But they're the things that Real Madrid's fans will be like, why is this fucker not running back? Get the hankies out, lads, because this fella's not bothering a jaw here. Now, Luis Suarez was at Liverpool and Luis Suarez left Liverpool and everyone was waiting for him to bite someone in Barcelona. How long will it take before he bites someone? He was a different character when he went to Barcelona. He was brilliant. Never a bleeding jot of trouble with him. He went on, he was happy, and that was where he wanted to be. That was the destination that Suarez always wanted. And Trent might get the same. You might see a different Trent where, I know what you're saying, but you might flourish in Madrid because it's not going to be helter-skelter like the Premier League is. But they still have quick players. They still have technical, nippy players on the wing. So it'll be interesting to see, does he sink as some of us suspect, or does he flourish as some of us suspect?
I think he flourishes. I think the
He's not winning a fucking Ballon d'Or, that's for sure.
No, he's not winning a Ballon d'Or because if he's successful in a Real Madrid side, but Kylian Mbappe wins it every day of the week.
They've withdrawn.
That's
their
the thing
players
about
from the
Real
Ballon d'Or
Madrid.
because Vini didn't win it.
Yeah,
You've got about 3 or 4 lads there that all want to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Bellingham wants it, Vinny wants it, and Mbappe wants it. Now
it.
Trent is a rocking up and he wants it as well.
Yeah.
Like
But-
to me, it's not. It's
see,
not cohesive.
I just when I look at this, like people, and like someone said at the start of the show there, people having a go at Liverpool fans for being annoyed at this. I don't know how you can be upset at Liverpool fans for being annoyed at this. You know what I mean? I just don't. And people say, well, it goes the other way. Yeah, it does go the other way. And when it goes the other way, like if we take a player on a free transfer, if we took a 26-year-old Kylian Mbappe on a free transfer from Madrid to, well, maybe that's the wrong one because they're being with Kylian Mbappe. Let's just say, Bellingham, right? And Bellingham goes on a free from Real Madrid to Liverpool. I'm sure the Real Madrid fans will be doing what we're doing and going, well, that's fucking outrageous. 26, free transfer. And he must have been, he must have been doing this, making it all happen long into, far into the past and stuff like that. But it's just, I'll say it again. I think it's impossible for Trent or anybody else at Liverpool, where we are now, 26 years of age, leaving on a free to a rival. Let's be fair, they're a rival, and thinking that everyone's going to be all right with it. And you can call it the hardest decision of your life. You can tell people you've done 20 years at a football club, but that club has looked after you for 20 years. Yeah. It's not like you've given everything to that club and they've given you nothing back. It's a mutual relationship here. Yeah, but hold on, Trent. The club have given you 20 years. So how hard of a decision has it been? As I said, a narrative driven and stuff like that. I think football and wise he goes over there, I think he'd be absolutely fine. And it's always been the thing with me is, how does he care about what people think of him? And I don't think he does. I genuinely don't think he does, because I've watched plenty of content, people that live in Liverpool, support Liverpool, go to match every week, and I have yet to hear a person that goes to match every week going, yeah, no, absolutely fine with what he's doing. The majority I've listened to have said, don't want him in the team, don't want him there, don't want that to do with him. And that for me is, short-term gain, right? It is short-term gain. It's another 5 or 6 years of real gain in your career, but it's the long-term effects of it. And listen, if he doesn't give a bollocks, fair play to him. The road is fucking clear in front of you there, kid. But if he does give a bollocks, I think he's making a fucking serious rod for his back in 4 or 5 years' time. And he could compound it. He could be 2 years into a Real Madrid career. It's an absolute abomination of a fucking career or a move. And he wants to come back to Liverpool, and they go, no. Because the reaction of our crowd when you left, we're not doing this again. And then he goes off and plays for someone else. And it's like, for fuck's sake, it just, if he cares about it, I think it'll hit him in a couple of years' time. If he doesn't care about it, Yeah, brand Trent, on the tracks and running at full steam ahead. That's where I
He
think it
mentioned
is.
it. He mentioned it in his video. He says in the video that some people will be annoyed or disappointed. So he already knows. So I don't think he cares. I really don't think he cares. Like it's disappointing. Like I said, it's more of a kind of a, like, you're looking at it going, please don't, like, like, you've got it all in front of you. You've got it all set up in front of you. You're going to be captain of the club. You'll win trophies as captain, and instead you're taking the quick book. To me, he's taking the quick book. Is what he is. Is what he's doing. So
Um,
I don't think going to La Liga is a challenge, personally.
just in terms of the last few games of the season, Keith. I've seen a lot of people that didn't want him to start against Spurs, didn't want him to start against Chelsea because they knew this was coming. And now it's official. He's 3 league games left. He has Arsenal at home, he's Brighton away, and he's Palace at home. Then, of course, he has um, he'll have a parade. There's an awful lot of fucking logistics going on here. What do you see from Trent in this, and the club and the manager in the next 3 games, and then your parade and everything else? Because there was never going to be a good time to do this. I'm amazed they haven't done it after the Palace game, because everyone knew. Just fucking let it run, let him do the
Just where
parade,
do you
and
head
announce
in
it
the
on the
sand?
4th of June. I'm leaving the club on the 30th of June. Because his contract's up on the 30th of June. And unless Real Madrid pay up, they aren't getting him. And I think Liverpool should just turn around and go, you're not getting him. End of fucking story. You want to put 50 million quid on the table to get him. We're not playing that game. But I don't think Liverpool will. I think they're too nice. But Keith, what do we do here? What do the club do? What's the manager do?
I think the manager plays him. Um, I think he plays him. I wouldn't. I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't start him again for Liverpool. I'd only even give him minutes if there's an injury. But that's pettiness by me. Do you know what I mean? I accept that. I think the club might look differently. I would rather the club took a more hardline stance on it. I don't want to see any shy videos for all that he done. Thanks for the memories and all that shy. I think they could have let him just skulk out the back door, and it would have been much better. Um, After the Palace game, as you said. Instead, it's all come out now. Um, is it again? Who's controlling that narrative? Does that suit Liverpool? I wouldn't say so. I don't think they. All right, we got the league wrapped up, and maybe it's a case of, well, look, it doesn't matter now, but we've 2 home games left. I don't know what the reception he's going to get is going to be like. I don't think Liverpool drove that narrative to get him fucking lashed over by fans. As you said, as a club, are too nice. Um, does it suit Real Madrid? Are they trying to put the hammer on to get him early out of his contract and just get it all out in the open now? I don't know. Does it suit Trent to come out now?
Well,
I
you see,
don't
I
think it
think, I
does.
think if, I think if the only thing I would say is I think Real Madrid are absolutely eyeing him up to go to that Club World Cup.
Oh, they are absolutely, yeah,
So
100%. And I wouldn't
that
be giving
their
them
timeline will
the money
be
piss. Never
get it
mind giving
get
them a
get
month
this
early. Do
announced
them a
early
favour.
May, and we'll work on it and get you out of there on the 1st of June.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's again going back to the whole thing that again, it's not Liverpool controlling this narrative even now. You know, it was never Liverpool controlling them leaving. It was always Real Madrid and Trent. And this to me smells like Real Madrid wanting to
Because the
get that
club are
World
fairly
Club Cup
short.
shy.
The club are fairly short in there. Trent has announced he will be leaving the club at the end of his contract, and then you know
Alexander Arnold. It was
yeah.
we're only short of Mr. Alexander Arnold will be leaving,
Yeah, and it's like,
Gonzo.
and then the videos put up by the club was just like, here he is explaining himself. Now I don't know. Some people have said there in the chat, I wonder will he get the presentation at the end of the season. I don't see a problem with him getting a presentation at the end of the season
I
for a
do.
footballing
I
sense.
do.
Well,
I
on a
do.
footballing sense, why? Do you know what I mean?
On the
Because that day
at the
is we're
pitch,
winning the we're winning the we're
I
winning the
and
league
he
that
and
day.
he's part of winning the
It,
league, lads.
he
it's
is.
the
Oh no,
Liverpool.
no.
It's the Liverpool show. It's not the Trent show,
No,
and
no, I'm
that's
not
my.
saying to make it the Trent show. What I'm saying is,
No, but
Liverpool
he's
win the league, they
expecting to
lift the
get a.
trophy.
He's expecting to get the send off that Klopp and Bobby and
Yeah,
Milner and all that kind of. That's why I'm pissed off that it was announced today, and people are saying, "Oh, but Fabrizio said it's here we go." He didn't have to open his fucking mouth.
yeah,
It should have been done after the Palace game and after we got the trophy, and then he
yeah.
announced it. For me now, Arsenal needs to be his last game. And give him his send-off against Arsenal this weekend, the second last home game, and there's not a fucking ounce of it come the final day of the season.
Yeah.
you see, you
Because that's
can't.
the day. That's why
I
can't
don't
you?
think you can, because I don't think as a football club they will. And
No,
as well as
again,
that,
it
No,
comes
no,
back
no.
to
I'm
them being
not.
too
I'm not
nice.
saying they
It comes
will.
back to them being too
I'm
nice.
saying that's what I would be doing. Here's your last home game of the season. You're not going to play against Palace. That's Conor Bradley's spot now. Get your send off after the Arsenal game, whatever, and you won't be seen again. You can come out
I
and
think he will be saying, and I think he'll be on that
I
parade as
know
well.
he will. I know he will be,
Mhm.
but I'm just saying that he shouldn't be because now it turns in to the Trent show, and this
Yeah.
is
But
this
not
is
only turning into the Trent show, the inevitability is he will be booed. So do we want that? Do you know what I mean? Like, do we want, like, it's going to be a party atmosphere? Liverpool are getting the league title in front of fans, first time so many years. Trent, I'm not saying doesn't deserve his medal or doesn't deserve to be
oh,
part of that.
definitely does.
Absolutely, he does. Absolutely. Does he deserve a presentation? Absolutely. But I'm saying I would do that at a dinner or a banquet for him with the players or whatever, rather than on the pitch where you, judging on the atmosphere and the temperature. I know Twitter's not the real world, but from looking and listening on that, a lot, I think you said earlier, Gav, a lot of match going Reds that you've spoken
Like Andy
to
Kaufman says there, he won't be billed, Keith. You're out of touching this. He was billed at Leicester.
he was billed at Leicester. That's
He
what
was
that's what
billed
I
at
mean.
Leicester
Like,
when he was warming up. He was billed at Leicester when he came on. Right? There was, and this is
Built
from
in
people.
January, if you remember.
But this is from
Yeah.
people within the ground at Leicester. They were in the ground, and he said if there was 3,000 Liverpool fans, probably 10% of them were booing. But bills travel, right?
Yeah.
And the person that was saying it, right, said, like Andy says, you underestimate the match goer. Andy, this is a match goer at Leicester away, right? At Leicester away, and they said there was about 10% of people booing, okay, when he was warming up. When he came on, okay, and after the game when he was doing his interview, they were still waiting for him to come over so they could have another go off him. Whether you like it or you don't, right? I think it will happen. I think there's actually less chance of it happening at Anfield, right? Because I think it might be drowned out. But there's no way Liverpool as a football club, who are a classy football club, right? Regardless of what's going on, I don't think there's any way that he doesn't be involved in the last 3 league games, right? Or not be involved in the parade, and not get some sort of recognition when he's leaving the football club. And like, let's be honest, when Liverpool last year, yeah, it was the Klopp show, right? It was the Klopp show. But if you go back to, even years before that, players leaving, right? Like, it wasn't, we never thought, it's the Firmino show, or it's the, whoever show. We never thought that. We thought, that's a nice thing to do. They come out, they get
Firmino
their,
announced it before the 7-0 United
yeah.
game. We knew that was a
yeah,
procession.
but we knew about Trent as
and
well.
it was very much the
But this
Firmino
is
show.
a
by
different.
the way.
But this is a
that
but
match
this
was
is
very much the Firmino show.
But this is I know, but this is a different thing because of the age of the player. Right? Forget the scouts a bit for a minute. This is a guy at 26 years of age, right? Probably was. Firmino's probably a bad thing. The Villa game was all about Firmino at the end. But those players that's left the club, like, we never thought when Thiago was leaving, it's the Thiago show today. He walked out, everyone clapped him, he got given the frame or whatever, and he fucked off. That's what Liverpool will do. But, like, how bad will it look on the Liverpool? Have Liverpool, we went, no, we're not doing anything for you. You're not playing again. They won't do it.
If we weren't lifting the Premier League trophy on the last day,
Yeah.
I would be all in favour of giving him his little flowers on the pitch and his signed jersey, all that kind of stuff. The last day of the season should be all about Liverpool, the fans, and winning the Premier League. It shouldn't in any way, shape or form be a goodbye to Trent. For me, that's just my opinion. That's why I would be saying, give it to him, by all means, at Arsenal. This is going to be our goodbye.
So let's say, for argument's sake,
we're going to be lifting the Premier League trophy against Palace.
I get it, but I'm only playing devil's advocate here. If the club turned around tomorrow and said Queven Keller is leaving the club at the end of the season on a free contract, right? Okay, he's in his prime. Okay, he's the same age as Trent. I think he is 26. I think he is, right? So if he does that, we're not going to go not playing again, right? He's not playing again. And people would say to you, oh, well, maybe he's decided not to sign a contract. Has he been offered one? Now, it is a different situation. Let's be fair. But if Queevy Kelleher walks out onto that pitch on the last day of the season and gets his frame, and Trent walks out and gets the frame, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. Like Andy says there, I refuse to believe Anfield will boo. If you're right, Gav, I'll be stunned and surprised to hear you think that. I'm not telling you it's my opinion. I'm telling you
we're
that
not
people
saying we
at the
would
fucking
boo.
stadium at Leicester were reporting it. They reported it out of their own mouth that they were standing in the ground and people were booing them. Booing him warming up, booing him when he came on, booing him when he went near them with a throw in, and then waited for him after his interview with Sky, I think it was, on that day, to come back over so they could have another go. And Trent knew better and walked away from them and got away, Andy. I'm not telling you I think that's what should happen. I'm just telling you what has happened. And now the news is out and the way it's going on, the chances are they might. They absolutely might, because there's so many people, in my opinion, that don't want them anywhere near the place. But I don't think the football club will do that. I think the football club will treat it as a player leaving at the end of his contract, and will do exactly what they've done with players before. You know, like if we'd have got last season, was the end of last season Thiago left?
Yeah.
Was it the last year?
Yeah.
So Thiago's leaving. We never thought he's a fucking waster. Blah blah blah. He's not going on the parade if we'd have won the title. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool ain't going to do that. Liverpool ain't going to ostracise that player. They're just not.
No,
they're better than that.
No, they are better than that.
I'm not saying they should ostracise him, but it shouldn't. Like, so already on Sky and on whatever station it's going to be on is like, it's all going to be Trent. Trent lifted the trophy. Trent last game. Trent, like it shouldn't have got to that. He shouldn't have announced it until after the Crystal Palace, or announce it in January. Do you know what I mean? But now it's like 2-3 games before the end of the season. Why now? Like, I just don't get it. Like, to me, it's I think he's just selfish. If I'm being perfectly honest, like I've already said that he's going to Madrid for money, not football. To me, and this just the arrogance of him. To me, the timing of this is just typical.
I think he's being
take the
poorly
spotlight.
advised. I
Yeah,
think he's
big
been
time.
poorly advised.
Richard says Thiago wasn't leaving. He was retiring. He was also unfit. Another poor analogy. No, I'm not comparing Trent and Thiago's exit. What I'm saying is, when Thiago was leaving, or unfit, or fucking retiring, Richard, he walked out onto the grass. They all gave him a round of applause. They gave him a frame of some sort, right, with the Champions Wall, I think, on it, and he walked off. That's all I'm saying. That's what the club are going to do. Because the club aren't going to turn around and say, we're not doing anything for you. But they're just not. They won't. I don't think they're going to facilitate any big fucking, montages and all sorts of stuff. I don't think they're going to do that, right? But they aren't going to turn around and say, we're doing nothing. Like, I know where you're coming from, Emmet. It's going to be Trent's day. If Trent hadn't announced it, right? If we'd got our wish and he said, right, do it on the 1st of June, we'd still be sitting there on the last day of the season, and the narrative would be, is this his last game? He's going to Madrid, and it would have all hung over you. Anyway, it's going to hang over. This is what I'm saying. This is why the exit is so difficult, because there's no good way out of it on so many levels.
And what I'm saying is, do it for him on Saturday. If he wants to do his little lap of honour, get his Champions Wall or whatever it is, and let him do his lap of honour against Arsenal. Don't do it on the last day when we're getting the Premier League trophy. That day is all about the club and the fans. It's not about Trent. I'm not saying, and for me, this is me. It's my opinion. If it's wide of the mark, I don't give a fuck. To me, my own opinion is, it nearly sums up. Somebody else said there, it's like it'll be the Trent show. I think last day of the season. And will you get booed? I think the boos will be drowned out, because it's you mentioned it there, away at Leicester. That's the travelling cop. And I'm not suggesting for 1 second, if you don't go to away games, that you're not a hardcore Liverpool fan. But let's face it, the ones that traipse up and down the country are basically the hardcore Liverpool fans. And if they're booing them, that will spread a little bit. But I do think it'll probably be drowned out by the people that maybe aren't as hardcore and maybe get they're there at the first match or whatever it is. the last game of the season. I do think it'll be drowned out, but there definitely will be boos. I'm sorry, like there
will be
100% will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be. There will be.
Come
And
here.
it's not fair. If you take the bitterness that we feel about him leaving, it really isn't fair on him to be billed. Do you know what I mean? When he's leaving the club, and we're all emotional about it. Don't get me wrong. People will be jumping and saying, "No, he's right to be billed or whatever." It's not fair on a fella who's won so much and been such a key part of the squad to be billed by the fans. I don't think it's nice. It was like when Liverpool won the league against Spurs and there was calls out not to be invading the pitch. Tacky shit like that. Liverpool have a bit more class about them and didn't do that. I think it's right, as sort of Emmet is saying, to take that situation out of it. Instead of having something that's like, right, this is the celebration. Oh, we're going to present to our players Caoimhín Kelleher. Well done. Everyone claps Caoimhín Kelleher. Everyone knows Caoimhín Kelleher wants to be a first choice goalkeeper and deserves to be a first choice goalkeeper somewhere else. That's fine. Caoimhín Kelleher moves on. And we've now got Nat Phillips. Is he still with us? I think he's
No,
still
he's
with
with
us and
Derby.
out of contract.
Scored a
but
winner a
he's-
whole last week to keep
Yeah, but
Derby
he's
up.
only on loan, is he? Is he?
Yeah, he's just dossing in Derby, like.
He
I
get a
think it's-
cheer anyway for being with Liam Gallagher.
But
He's
it's
still
they'll
there.
go through it all and they'll all get their round of applause and their cheers. We were at the Villa game when Bobby went. There was about 18 staff members and all were leaving. The bleeding went on for ages. Everybody got a big cheer. But when Trent's name comes out, 80% of the ground might clap and cheer, 20% might boo, and 20% is too much, in my opinion, for a kid that's won a lot. But he's made this bed. Do you know what I mean? He's made this bed, and it's whatever happens, it's going to be awkward and it's going to be shit. But we move on. As we've said, we move on. Links now, I see all over the timeline there, everyone's saying that the reliable Indy Kalia has come out and
Indy's
said
the
that we're in hard for Jeremy Frimpong. Do you know what I mean? Like,
And just
what's
on
it?
that, because there's loads of people there in the chat saying, you know, where do you go with it? And look, the trend stuff's going to play out, whether we like it or not. I'll say it again. Football and financial wise, I'm not really fucking bothered by. If you want to make that decision, make it. I just think the way it's being driven and the way it's happened, I don't think it might hit trend for a couple of years yet. I think that the fruits of this labour will be seen or the lack of fruit in this labour will be seen in 4 or 5 years' time, when it's, or 6, 7, 8 years' time, when his career is finished and he's back at Liverpool and people are, you know, it's just not the same. And that's.
I
just
can
the way
tell you
it
one
goes.
thing. He didn't show that video that he released on his own Twitter to a Liverpool fan. Not a hope in hell did a Liverpool fan sign off on that plasticky fake. I'm going to leave the club. Like Klopp was with us for 9 years. He gave more of an off the cuff, from the heart. That was auto cued to bits.
Yeah.
And it's so disingenuous. I just think he may mean every single word of it that he said, but that video doesn't, for me, scream that. Like, you have to get those 2 sentences out without having to fucking read them.
Yeah,
I'm
Dramatic
sorry.
yeah,
pauses and all
but
when
the
he
thing
told
is,
them
right,
clear.
but there's the
No,
added
that was
there's the
horrendous.
added element for me when you're watching these things is that is the guy that's saying the words thinking, how do I fucking say this? Because, you know, I've known what I've known what I'm doing for the last year. So how do I fucking look genuine? It's fucking hard, I think. But anyway, listen,
don't
let it
do
play out. Let's see where it goes. I'm gonna have a fantastic day on the last day of the season, and I don't really give a bollocks what Trent Alexander Arnold is doing on that day, to be fair.
Are you gonna boo him?
No,
From
I
wherever your
wouldn't do him.
vantage point is.
No, I
Emmet,
wouldn't
are
do
you
him.
gonna boo him?
Oh, from a stool beside a bar somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I wouldn't.
No.
I actually feel I'd worry for him more than I'd fucking have a go at him. That's just me. But look, Conor Bradley, you know, the future of Liverpool are right back. You know, he has got these injuries that are, you know, people are saying he's still growing into his body and stuff like that, and probably can't be relied as, in my opinion, can't be relied upon as your number one right back every week in a Premier League season. I think that'll come. I'm not having this Joe Gomez shite at right back. I'm just not having it. Because
Kwanzaa. Fuck that.
no,
Kwanzaa.
I'm not having it because a couple of things, right? The difference in Salah when your Trent or your Bradley plays is night and day. So you have to have a player like that. But I think Liverpool have to bring in a right back. Indy's having a lovely time there, telling everybody it's Frimpong and everything else. But Keith, where would you go with this? Because I think it's important you get a really good footballer in a right back. I think you need someone that's going to supply Salah, because you're seeing, if you have somebody that's just an out and out defender, even if they're a right back and they're just an out and out defender, it takes so much out of our game. I'm not asking anyone to be Trent, Keith, but you need someone that has a really good engine on them and a really decent passing range to get Salah going here. That's just my take on it.
No, I'd sort of disagree in the sense that the passing range. Trent, we've said for years, a unicorn. Like he's not standard. Do you know what I mean? It's not standard to have a right back that pings the ball around like the way he does, or hits them passes the way he does. So we have to think differently now. I don't think Conor Bradley is ready to be the first choice right back. Not on ability, just as you said there. I think it's still injuries and ground and things like that. I think we would be shooting ourselves in the foot, for example, if we went into next season just with Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez and Jarell Kwanzaa and Curtis Jones and any other bleeding hobo that'll play right back for us in an emergency. I don't think that's right, and I don't think it's fair. I would do Jeremy Frimpong, and I think, Mo Salah, I hate when Mo Salah is playing hugging the touchline. I fucking hate it. I think he's useless. I don't think we get enough out of him. I think he needs to be moved in a little bit, and be playing closer to the box. And I think a Frimpong playing gives width that moves Salah in if he wants to be in. Now, maybe rather thinks he does more damage out on the wing. Personally, I think we got more out of him when he was inside, but that's just my opinion. I'm not the manager. I think Frimpong makes all the sense in the world. He's young. Does it block Conor Bradley's progress? I don't care. The best player will be the best player. Liverpool, I don't want Liverpool to not get the best in class in case we block a player's pathway. If Conor Bradley is good enough, and I think he is good enough, he will make that position his own. But until then, we need to have, we can't have a jobber playing there, because it's going to be a scrutinised position now for us. Oh, Trent would have done this, or Trent would have done that. So I think it will be Frimpong. Someone said Ola Ain in the chat there. I think it's a good show. If you do have faith in
but there's
Conor
a thing
Bradley,
over him. There's a thing over him that I read the other day, that does anybody know if he's out of contract? Because the talks are is that Nottingham Forest have an option to extend by a year, and no one knows what the fuck's going on. Someone said and mentioned the name up there, and I don't know whether they were messing. But I'm knocking on Chelsea's door and I'm asking about Gusto.
100%. They paid big bucks for him. They paid huge though.
But I'm knocking on that door.
They paid about 30 million for him.
I'm knocking on that door because listen, I love Conor Bradley, right? And I agree with you. If Conor Bradley's good enough, he'll move anyone out of the fucking way at right back. But I would fucking love him in that Liverpool side. Absolutely love him in that Liverpool side. I think he's made for it. The Frimpong thing is there. Anya is there. Frimpong is homegrown, Eunice. Yes, he is homegrown. And Jerry says he ticks a lot of boxes. He does tick a lot of boxes. But Emmet, we simply can't do this Kwanzaa Gomez or fucking Curtis Jones bullshit. We'll have to bring someone in, but in fairness, the it's not a bottomless pit of money Liverpool have to go, just throw whatever at that, and that's why Gusto probably doesn't happen. I just really like him as a footballer. But
Frimpong's not going to come for cheap either.
No, he's not. But I don't know what's left on his contract. That's the thing. But Emmet,
I'm feeling that Slot might go back for Hertreude from Leipzig.
Do you?
That he played for Matt Feyenoord. To me, I honestly thought he was going to be nailed on to bring him in with him last summer.
Yeah, so did I.
So, to me, what's happened there is Slot knew that Trent was probably going to play his last season. He knew he had Bradley as well. What's the point of bringing a player in that's probably going to spend most of the season sitting on the bench in Hertreude, or playing very little? Let him go away and get a move to Leipzig and play a season. And then when Trent moves on, you bring in Hertreude as your right back / centre back / I know he can play defensive midfielder as well. So it to me, it's it would be like an Edwards kind of move or a Hughes move, as in he ticks. I know people saying ticks boxes, but he plays more than one position. So he's not going to be an awful lot of money. He can do right back. He can do centre back.
Yeah.
What's he going to
I
be?
think.
What's Gertrude going to be?
What do you mean?
Money wise,
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
type
you'd
me
probably
when he
get him
grows
for.
up.
I think you'd probably get him for less than a 50.
50.
Oh, I wouldn't even be going near 50
Well,
for him.
I said less than 50.
22.
Well, Frimpong.
Oh, here, come here. I would do Frimpong as well.
He's a £30 million euro release clause, and then Pedro Porro's name is in here loads.
He's got mentioned a few times online and that. I don't know.
No, I'd say fucking the Spurs defensive messing is fully ingrained in his head now. I don't think he can get that out of him.
I'd do a sneaky one for Archie Gray if I was going for anyone from Spurs.
Yeah,
He can
that's
play
not
loads
bad
of positions.
Um,
But do you go for the backup to Conor Bradley, or do you go for
No, I don't think Bradley is ready to be the
nailed on every time
I
starter?
I bring in the best right back I can. Now I know. Listen, you have to spend money elsewhere, right?
Well, do we take it then that we're getting Kerkez at left back? Are we bringing in a left back?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I
So
think
if you
that's.
bring in Milos
I think
Kerkez
that's
and he's
100%
bombing up and
happen.
down, Petroida makes a lot of sense in the, I don't know if we're going to have two fucking bombing on fullbacks, but maybe we will.
Yeah,
I think Frimpong could have an eye on Frimpong eventually possibly becoming a Salah replacement.
Yeah, he plays
Oh,
there
that
for
right
Holland,
wing.
doesn't he?
Yeah,
He
well, I
plays. He
think
plays a lot there. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but
I never like seeing a defender on the wing.
and not only that, Frimpong is to me he's a wing back. Right, I could be wrong, but I think he's a nailed on wing back. Is he good attacker wise? Yeah, but I wouldn't be saying, listen, we should do put Frimpong right side attacker, because I just, what I mean, I just not for me.
And he's not a great defender. I know a lot of people are saying that in the chat. If you think Trent's bad at defending, Frimpong will give you a fucking shy hemorrhage. But at least he's gonna run back and try. That'll do for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sick of watching matches on the telly or whatever, and I'm waiting on Trent to come into the screen, and he doesn't come in, and you have everyone else scampering to try and get back at players. So just give me someone that comes in and defends. Maybe it'd be totally different to be left field. It'd be something that we don't. Not, it could be in the mold of a Hertroide, in the sense that it's going to be someone that can do centre back and right back, rather than a bombing full back.
I think it has to be.
I think we're going to have a big summer.
No, I think we are. Like, I think you're going to see. In terms of people going out, I think we've already mentioned Cueve and Kelleher. I think Darwin Núñez will go, but I don't think as many are going to leave as people think. I
think there might be a couple of surprises.
After yesterday, I think there'll probably be more.
Yeah, but let's be fair, right? Yesterday's game, people are going, oh, he's just not good enough, and he's just not good enough. Like,
there was people losing their shit over a game that meant.
But
did you not see the Liverpool fans? They had a fucking great time.
They had a brilliant time. But my thing on this is that I watched that game yesterday, right? And when I was watching it, I was looking, going, now, I thought Endo done all right, to be fair. But when you're looking around the team, and people saying, this is why he's not rotating, these aren't good enough. No. These are playing like this because they haven't got fucking minutes to play. Do you know what I mean? You need to play players. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's Pokier that got fucking 8 minutes plus injury time. Do you know what I mean? In a game, that means fuck all. Do you know what I mean? And people are going, I think he might do this next year. He will be out the door in the summer.
I would love to see him stay just for his song. Have you heard his song?
Yeah. But no, I'm not having anyone just staying for a song. I've fucking better things.
No, we have a strong song game.
Like Darren says there, when VVD scored, he just had a smirk on his face. He knew it didn't matter. Yeah, like, just fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
the video of Chelsea celebrating in the change room afterwards is fucking comical. Comical.
I just don't.
Big for them.
Maybe I'm wrong. I just find it hard to get in any way fucking down over that game yesterday or read anything into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, he played a midfield there yesterday of Endo, Jones, and Elliott that I would suggest will probably never play together. Right? Haven't had a lot of minutes. They've all been having a great time during the week, right? Winning the league and all. And they got out and they got minutes, and they lost the game, and it was a penalty in the end, and at the very, very end, and stuff like that. But this is what we've worked for. This is what we've worked for. Like the funny thing is, if we needed to win that game yesterday, people would be going, get in the one with the last 10 there to shore this up. Or if we're 1-1, get Elliot on there because he's being great. You know what I mean? Or Jones is press resistant. And you give all the positives. And then you fuck them all into the team at the same time and go, lads, no one gives a bollocks. You wouldn't go on there and play. And they go, yeah, no problem. But and they all go on and they run around a little bit and we won the league. You seen them after the game. They're all dancing with the fucking fans and everything after the game. Like, reading into it way too fucking much. Way too much. And listen, there's some players you like, there's some players you don't like, but put them into a fucking proper game, will you? And then have an opinion on it. Because yesterday was just like, yeah, I just play this and then we go back to Anfield next week. That'll be great, buzz again, won't the lads? You know the sort of way. It's just they're having a nice time and they've earned it.
I would love to see them take Sunday serious.
Yeah.
Why?
This Sunday, coming.
Why?
I would just love for Arsenal to have to give us the guard of honour and then absolutely spank them as well.
But why? It doesn't
I
matter.
want Liverpool to clear 90 points.
I don't give a bollocks if they don't get another point for the rest of the season. I don't care, lads.
Oh yeah, I couldn't give a shit. I'm not going
to. I want that 19-point winning margin. I want that new record.
Lads, fucking, you've won the league.
But if we don't get it, I'm not going to be disappointed.
But lads, hold on a minute.
It's for shits and giggles.
Four games ago, we were all, can we win it here? I just want the one. I can't be dealing with this. And then we win it. And it's like, right, we want to win all the games. We want to break 90 points. We wanted this winning margin. We want Arsenal. Who gives a bollocks?
No, I really don't. But
just
I'd
have a great
like
time. Just have a great time.
I will, but that will make it even better.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't give a fuck.
Listening to the fucking Arsenal fans all fucking season.
Yeah.
And I would love nothing more than a guard of honour and then just to absolutely spank them. And then we could lose the other two.
Yeah, but it'd be great. It'd be great if we poured out all these fringe players against Arsenal and they beat us. And then Arsenal to have the fucking stupidity to turn around and go, you see what happens to them when they have the injuries like us? And then we go, well, one, you're a fucking idiot. And two, I'm probably a fucking idiot for watching you being an idiot. You know what I mean?
They're doing that all year then anyway.
They got me there for watching AFTV. Thanks, Gav.
Oh, well, you know what I mean?
Out them. You're right, Gav. Out them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. But we might beat Arsenal. You might put out a full team next week. You never know. And listen, Arsenal could put out half a team. No, they won't. They'll put out their full team because that's what they do. But Arsenal could be out of the Champions League by this time next Sunday, couldn't they?
And want to beat them even more.
Yeah, and Absolutely. They might just give up and go me bollocks. You know what I mean? And fair play to them if they do. They just go, yeah, 3 games left. Couldn't be ours, lads. But yeah, look, the transfer stuff's going to heat up now, I think, in the next couple of weeks. And we will have shows. Antoine Go says, oh, shut up, Gav. No, I can say whatever the fuck I like, Antoine Go. Why don't you shut fucking up? I know Antoine Go's only messing, by the way. Relax, everybody. Yeah, the transfer stuff's going to heat up. We will be having stuff on our YouTube and on our Patreon. If you haven't joined us for Patreon, check it out. Try it for a month. If you don't like it, you can take it off. No problem. If you do, continue doing it. Loads of people have. We're having loads of time. Loads of good shows on there, and everyone's having a lovely time. It's patreon.com/Talkin Kop. Will I mention NordVPN? I should, because we tried to mention it last week and it went horribly wrong. But we had a great time doing it. But if you want to, the link for NordVPN is in the show description. 10 devices, put all your NordVPN on there, all your security, and then watch your streaming services anywhere in the world. Even if you're sitting in Ireland or the UK and you fancy watching it in America, you can do all that as well. There's yearly plans, there's 2 yearly plans. You're getting 4 months free when you sign up as well. If you use the Air link that's in the show description, go and do that. Emma, anything else before we go?
No, not really. Can we talk a little bit about Neville and his little show yesterday over Cole Palmer? No, say no. Just say no.
You can if you want.
I said we, not me.
Well,
like that was like, I know people try and not like, but oh my Jesus Christ, like,
yeah,
that was,
it was ridiculous.
Is it because it's Liverpool? If they were playing Arsenal, do you think he would have gone on about it as much? Like,
I
he
think
literally dropped his shoulder at one point, and it was like,
right.
there's
So
only
here's my thing on it.
a couple of
Here's my
players
thing
in
on
the
it. Right.
world that can do that, and it's just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, like,
Now let's get it right. Cole Palmer had a really, really good first 3 months of the season. And then he's disappeared. He's fucking disappeared. And listen, I'm not having a go at the guy. He's very young, right? He
he's
was
an
carrying
excellent
that.
player.
He's a fucking brilliant player. But he was
Yeah.
carrying that Chelsea team and it all got a bit too much. And I think that's okay, right? Gary Neville ran out of Anfield yesterday and didn't fulfil his media duties because it was pre-agreed with Sky that he didn't have to say anything after the final whistle. So he shouldn't have been there in the first place, right? And yesterday, Liverpool are playing whatever team they put out. They didn't give a bollocks, Liverpool. But Cole Palmer played quite well. And I think Gary Neville used this as a deflection tactic so he didn't have to talk about Liverpool being champions and talk too much about him. I think he picked the player on Chelsea and went, I'm going to never shut the fuck up about him all day. So if I keep that narrative going all day, I don't have to speak. We don't have to speak about this thing I don't want to speak about. I don't understand why he's on Liverpool games, but I did see a really good thing earlier that I fully agree with. I don't think he's a pundit anymore. He's not a pundit anymore. He goes in there and he picks the pressure points that will get you reaction and this, and he presses on them. Don't hear that in fucking album anymore. So that's what I think he done yesterday. I think he used a guy as a deflection tactic for the entire game. But maybe I'm wrong, Keith.
Dylan O'Rourke put the comment there. Palmer scored his first goal since January, and he
14th of
compared him to
January.
Ronaldo when he was at United.
Yeah.
Do you know, it was outrageous.
He's-
I think the
He's
shite was coming
a
out
good
with.
bit off Ronaldo, but I will mention him in the same
Yeah.
sentence. And you're like, oh my fucking God. Like,
Yeah,
He is in
And
no
I'll be-
way similar to the footballer to Ronaldo.
No, and not at a level where, you know, you'd even be putting. And I'm a huge fan of Cole Palmer. I've said it many times. I was surprised how good he was when he went to Chelsea. I thought it was a ridiculous move. He done nothing at City. I think he's brilliant. But the way he went on, yeah, it was
I
wild.
actually
And I
watched.
think I
Sorry,
can buy
I
into
actually
your
watched it.
theory.
I actually watched the thing tonight.
Other
with
than the
Manchester.
creepy it was.
United
Yeah.
might be putting a bid in for Cole Palmer here. He
Well,
has inside knowledge on a bid for Manchester United, so he started early.
That would make all the sense in the world.
It would, wouldn't it?
But
Yeah, and
there's
Cole Palmer
not a
going to
hope.
Manchester United would
Yeah.
make none of the sense in the
Yeah.
fucking world. So there's talk of Fernandez is on his toes, isn't there? That apparently there's talks with Saudi going on.
Is that?
Yeah, but
Apparently.
listen, the Neville thing, it's just fucking tiring at this stage. Like if you're switching on Gary Neville, if you're listening to him, that's your own choice. You don't have to if you have NordVPN, by the way. And and then if you happen to have to listen to him, if you're taking anything he says seriously, you're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. He's just there to fucking royal people now. You know, doesn't give any insight into the game.
And
of
it's
football
not
now.
it's not even Liverpool fans. It used to be a point where it was Liverpool fans. He's anti-Liverpool and all that kind of stuff, and that's a given, right? But it's like even like there's Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, Spurs fans are even calling it out now on social media. And I suppose he's done the trick, hasn't he? He's got people fucking talking about him. He's getting the traction that he wants. But come here, I used to think that Gary Neville was excellent when you get behind
Yeah.
that little screen on Monday Night Football, and he even would be showing you body shapes and
And
all
why
that
was
kind
that,
of
Emma?
stuff. Why was what?
Why did you think he was good?
Because he was actually breaking down and giving tactical analysis. At the moment, now
And
he's
also,
just,
at the time, he was comfortable in the fact that he thought Manchester United were competitive. And now he's not. So because Manchester United aren't competitive, right, he can't talk them up anymore. So what he does is he talks this nonsense week in and week out. And he's not the only one, by the way. But sometimes I see people on Sky or TNT or whatever it might be, and I go, well, they're not the main headline there, so they're kind of just a bit fucking whatever. But these are the poster boys of these companies. And they're sitting there, and that's what these companies have come to. They've come to, listen, we don't really give a bollocks what you think of where a right back should be when there's a ball coming in the left wing. Can you just say something mad? And what we do is we'll all earn our money at the end of the week, and they go, yeah, grand. And they've sold out to that. That's it.
well, come here, like go back 5-6 years. Was there ever cameras on the gantry?
Yeah, that.
There was, you used to get it a bit even when Andy Gray and
Yeah,
things
where
there.
they would turn and speak to the studio. But now it's like they go to the gantry for fucking, like Rio Ferdinand the other night with his calm down and all this kind of stuff, and like it's just like, oh my fucking god,
Yeah,
like
well,
it's just fucking
He's
painful.
another level.
Like
yeah,
his
yeah, but you see, you're
yeah,
watching this stuff. You're watching it. You know what I mean? And once
yeah,
you
but
keep watching it,
yeah,
we're worse for. Do you know what? You're the worst, Emma, for fucking bringing that up. We wouldn't have talked about it only for you. Emmett's the worst,
I,
right?
they promised they didn't
Sausage of the
talk
week.
about it. They didn't talk about our show yesterday because they said they would leave it for the Sunday night show.
Yeah.
And this is technically the Sunday night show. So that's the only. So giving the listeners what they wanted, Gav.
All right. Okay. Nice.
People pleaser. Well done,
Emmett's
Emmett.
the best, isn't he? Isn't
He
Emmett the
is.
best? He's not the worst. He's now the
Called
best.
a wanker in
The best boy.
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah. Wait till we get off this and be like, what were you talking about? What were you talking about, Emmet? Like fucking 11 on a Monday. Fuck off, Emmet. Anyway, Keith, anything else before we go? Is there anything you'd like to discuss before we go?
No, I think we've discussed everything, Gav. I think, there's not much to discuss outside of the whole Trent shy. And Emmet got his little Gary Neville thing in there. So, no, I think that's. I was telling you, I was out last night, Gav. Wasn't I telling you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is.
I went out.
This is the future.
I went out on the piss yesterday. My wife said, "Oh, we're going to meet up with a couple of friends in a pub and not far from us in Dublin." So, all right, what are we going for? Music bingo.
Fantastic.
I said, music
Oh,
bingo.
deadly.
I love music and I'm partial to a bit of bingo.
Yeah.
Tell me more. So we went over and it was like you get your book and it'd have like 15 boxes on it with a song in each box.
Mm-hmm.
And the DJ plays a little snippet of each song.
Yeah.
And you have your marker off like bingo, get a line, 4 corners.
But everyone's having a sing song.
Everyone's having a sing song. Everyone's having a sing song when the little snippets are coming on.
Can I go
was
next
fucking
week?
Brilliant. Yeah, we'll do a pod live from there. It was absolutely amazing. And funny, we were there with friends of ours, and beside us there was a couple from Japan, little Japanese couple, and we're like, these might have taken a wrong turn here coming in, because it was just a local pub, So we started chatting to them. We were helping them with the game, It turns out they were on honeymoon. They were the anti-Shawnee.
I was going to say they didn't exchange with Shawnee and Gemma.
Yeah, they're over here. So, but they were on their honeymoon over here, and they were staying in an Airbnb in the North Strand. You will be familiar with that, people listening.
Yeah.
And we were blown away, but it's like, what the fuck is doing in an Airbnb on the North Strand? And they were just playing a game of bingo, but they had a great time, So yeah, we had an exchange with Shawnee and Gemma, and it was good fun. But yeah, music bingo was brilliant, I have to say. The future. Yeah, 5 games of it. You played 5 games, went on for ages.
Yeah, but it's just loads of songs. So every time they play a snippet, everyone sings along. And even when the music stops, you keep singing a few bars. Yeah,
and you're saying what the song and all is. Oh, that's, a mix of everything, It wasn't all modern, so all these modern everything. Brilliant.
Owen Burke's wife went out yesterday for 30 minutes at 4 o'clock and arrived home 11 hours later. Jeez, that's some bleed litre of milk she went for. Anyway, fair play to her. I'm presuming we're allowed to say that because he's tied it in there. But she stitched up lovely there, in fairness. I'll be back in a half an hour.
Yeah, I'm just going out.
11 hours later, 3 in the morning, she falls in the door. Stitched up lovely.
Was she at musical bingo as well?
She was probably at musical bingo. She was doing DJ, I'd say, probably by the sounds of it, somewhere. Davey T quickly says, what's Emmet and Keith's views on 100 men versus a gorilla?
Gorilla would fucking upend them. That's my opinion on it. The gorilla rips them apart. What's everyone else's thoughts on that,
Emma?
Yeah. You're not. You have to, like. I'm going to get all fucking technical here, but like a gorilla's reach is fucking long.
I think the bloke's beat.
No, hell.
Yeah, I just think they.
Can we go back a couple of years? Didn't you say that a fucking bloke could batter a giraffe, or was it?
No, I said I would batter a giraffe, and he said he'd batter a kangaroo.
The bollocks out of you.
No, I think the weak point is the knees on the giraffe, but he wanted to fight a kangaroo that's the same size as you and box the head off you.
Do you ever see a giraffe swinging its bleeding head and neck at another giraffe? Do you ever see 2 giraffes fighting?
Yeah.
So you can go for
that's against someone the same height. I'm going into much
Oh,
smaller.
you
I'm
see,
targeting a weak point.
A gorilla tears your fucking face off.
Limb to
A
limb, yeah.
chimpanzee would do a job on about
yeah, but
10, 15
Yeah.
I just think 100 men jumping on that thing at the same time. I don't think he fucking stands a
Yeah,
chance.
but how are 100 men going to form
A circle, like a
to jump on him at the same time? It's not going to happen.
yeah.
No, I think like I said, I think the
You'd have
first
to
10.
approach in
I think you have to
threes and fives.
I think you have to sacrifice 10 lads. 10
Yeah, but
lads
that's
need to go in
who's
there
who's
knowing
putting
that.
the hand up to be the first
Well, the
ones in,
10
like, you
bravest
know what I
fellas,
mean?
right? Are the 10 fellas that when their wife goes out for a half an hour and don't come back for 11 hours, they're going, listen, I'm in for this fucking sick
Yeah.
about. She keeps going on for
Owen
11
nominated
hours.
his wife to be on the front line after that. I'd
Well,
say.
we just anyway.
I don't.
There's not a chance the
It
men
doesn't
win.
matter. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just
Ripped from limb to limb, and the gorilla, in fact, is beating them with their own arms and legs. I'd say he's throwing heads at people and all this. It's a massacre. There's no way.
I
You'd
think
have to
Gary
be
Neville
sneaking
would
up on
batter a
them.
gorilla on his own if the gorilla
Well, he'd fucking
made a
board him
move
to death.
towards Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
That's what I think might happen. Anyway, there you go. The lads just think the gorilla. The rest of you are all mad if you think otherwise, including me. Right, that has been the Talkin Kop. Thanks a million to Emmet. Thanks a million to Keith. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Like, subscribe, comment, all that mess, and check out our Patreon. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Over now.